When it comes to teacher support and development, we have invested large amounts of money in training and professional development. I think that as the years go on, we've changed our priorities to make sure that's the one priority that takes top priority.
If you're going to be a board that innovates, you have to be prepared for iteration. You have to be prepared for failure. You have to take risks. We're very careful. We make sure we do data literacy across the system so that we're very careful. But we're not risk averse.
One of the biggest pieces that I think that was a real shock was this student had high absenteeism. And then over the course of a year and a half of being over in the Nova Career Center, if he missed 1 or 2 days of school, that was it for the entire period of time. Was just really engaged. The student did so well, ended up with 5 offers for employment afterwards. When I think about a story like that, it really touches you.
The system is really squishing hidden potential. So what we did was try and blow the top off the lid called grade school. And philosophy that grade school is really a system based on perfection, but also based on somebody else's score of perfection. If that was the case, people like Steph Curry would have never made the NBA. He never got a scholarship to post-secondary. So how could we create a system where our kids wouldn't have to leave? We lose them to the cities and we lose them to different sort of ideals that don't exist in the North, but prepare them for the career that they're passionate about.
Day one, there's an assumption that you just know now how to do all of the things that you're expected to do. And so I was quite overwhelmed with the pace, the rigor, and I have to say, suffered significant imposter syndrome. I wasn't confident in my humility. I wanted to present an air of, I've got this, I'm deserving of this role, I can do this role, and it was really hard for me to be vulnerable. I needed to learn the hard way that the only way to do this job is to be able to do it through humility and through vulnerability and be confident in that vulnerability.
Every single employee that walks into your office or that you see in a school, you have to work with them in your relationship, from wanting to empower them, wanting to lift them, loving them, seeing them in the place that they're at right now. And that is the secret sauce. And I was stubborn as heck in learning that one. But that just is an example of the many lessons that you learn in leadership. And because I've allowed myself to make mistakes and grow, I do the same with the leaders that I'm leading.
I become more reflective as I get older, and more reflective as I am longer seeing leadership positions. It's not how I see myself, it's how others see me. It's not how I intend to respond, it's how I actually respond. It's not what I say, it's what people hear. It's okay for us to make mistakes. I will make mistakes. I will own it. You make a mistake. I will own it as the leader, because my job is to make everyone else successful. And I own the system. And how do I support? And it's okay for us to make mistakes. What did we learn from it? And ensuring that no matter what it is, we're a learning institution for adults as much as we are for students.
When I talk about Love in Winnipeg School Division, it's about making sure that people, when they come into a building or when they come into community, that they feel welcome, that they feel that they're honored, that they feel that they're listened to, that they're heard, that they're seen, that people know them by name. We're in the business of creating the conditions for people to discover what it means to be human in the universe and to become really good people. And we can argue about what that means, but you can't do that without love. And so I'm always telling people, I love you.
And I use the example of my father. What he experienced in school was horrific. What I experienced in school was not great, but not horrific. But I know the generation that I was teaching in the 90s and 2000s, they saw a First Nations person in front of them. So there's a generational change. You look at the educators today who I have so much respect for what they do and what's placed upon them in the classroom, that I know that there's First Nations children, Indigenous children across the country that now learn about our true history as Canadians. That's generational change.